yourselves and what film you worked on, what your role is.
I'm Shashank. I was the writer-director for DOSA.
Hi everyone, I'm Arpita Mukherjee. I'm the writer and director of The Cycle.
Imad Uzmison, a writer and director of Like Pigs in a Blanket, and also did sound and a bunch of other things.
Hi everyone, I'm Myra. I'm the writer, director, editor, and colorist of Ice Cream.
Amazing. So I'm going to try to not ask you how you came up with the ideas for your films. And that's actually, for these films, I actually really do want to know, but I'll try to open it up. I'll be a bit selfish and ask kind of more filmmaker questions, but if anyone wants to ask that in Q&A, please do. And so I guess I'll just go starting from Myra. This, if I understand correctly, is your first film festival.
Yes, it is.
Amazing. So you're visiting here from Pakistan for iSAFF.
I'm visiting from Australia.
From Australia,
The film
okay.
was shot in Pakistan, yes.
Incredible. So what was it like screening your film in front of an audience for the first time?
No, it was incredible. Thank you all for being here. It's always amazing to see a live audience watch your work. So yeah, thank you.
Well, yeah, wish the kids could be here too, but you're not there. Right back there. Have they seen the film?
They have seen the film, yes.
It's gonna do really well for them. I can see them growing up to be some TV stars. It's happening. Imad, we just saw your film. It's a great one to end on. This one I already said my role, but I actually kind of want to break my role already, and I do want to know how you came up with the idea for this film.
Oh man, so I grew up on Christmas movies, film noir, Universal monster films, and I work at this place where we shot it. So I'd be there midnight and I'd imagine things creeping in the night. I figured, imagine like if there was a werewolf outbreak, like let's do that. So,
Of course, that's what we all think when we're late. Amazing. Did you have another film at iSAFF as well?
No, so there was my buddy Essen's film was playing.
Okay.
I was
Okay.
going to introduce that.
Okay, right, incredible. Arpita, Cycle, incredible film. I mean, these are all incredible films. I have so many things about your film that I want to talk about, but I'll try to zoom in specifically on, my understanding is you have a theater background, or like a strong theater side to your work as well.
Yeah. Theater is my marriage and film is my mistress. So
Let's talk about both. So I mean, in this film, there's a lot of scenes with your lead that are, it's just her on her own. They're not verbal, like dialogue scenes, but we're really understanding everything she's going through. And for me, I mean, I don't have a background in theater, but for me, I'm like, that makes me think about like the way you direct the performances, how much of that is coming from theater and what is new and exciting in film, because there was a lot of things in this where I wouldn't expect that would be something you do in theater, right? Like those super sound performances, or for me personally, like having a husband and mother-in-law talk, but like in the back surround channel. I was like, yeah, that's good, that's cinema. So yeah, what do you bring from theater, and then what was a fun experiment?
Thank you. That's a great question. I love that question. I think the thing I bring from theater, theater I consider as primarily an actor's medium and writer's medium. You can sort of direct your actor in theater, and then the actor can do whatever. And so, theater is a lot about trusting your casting. You have to trust the actors. And in theater, because the experience is like, I'm acting here and you're sitting there or there, you can't lie. There's a thing we say in theater is don't lie. Whatever, if that day you had a terrible day, like, I live in New York, it's like the subways where you came late to your call time, like, put it in don't lie. So actually Preet is played by Bihu, who's a theater actor, and her parents are also theater actors. So I really just trusted her, and I just told her, don't lie. So whatever we were going through on set or whatever was happening, the importance for me is the thing I'm listening for and looking for is always like, are you telling the truth? Are you telling the truth? So I guess that is like a very theater thing that I learned from the theater. Because I work in the theater, I'm very conscious and interested in film as a form. What is cinema? And so a lot of the ways, like, one of the things in the film, we really wanted to give it a very specific visual language. It was like, as we were shooting, we were really trying to make it feel as like film, like shooting on film. That was one of the things we were trying with digital. So, for me, the opportunity with film is like point of view. It's how you're kind of showing the audience internality, which in theater is completely external, is completely textual. So like really going away somewhat from text and like dialogue and that kind of stuff, to me was really was the exploration of cinema. So when I look at the cycle now, I really feel it's like me as a director, like finding my cinematic and filmic, voice. So it's a lot of that kind of exploration in color and how, he chose the shots and choosing to do it in 4:3 for me, because I love like Andrea Arnold's films, and I love like the intimacy of shooting in that aspect ratio. So, those things that you don't get to do in theater, you have one aspect ratio, it's the audience's eyes.
I got a lot
So,
of American Honey in my pitch deck, so yeah, I feel you there with the Andrew Arnold. That's amazing. Shashank for DOSA. Is my understanding, just from the credits, that was a film as part of Centennial College?
It was a student film.
Yeah.
It should have stayed a student film.
No, that's incredible for a student film. That's amazing. Like,
I was gonna make it just by myself
Yeah.
in my house, and my professors are like, "Don't do this by yourself. We'll produce it. We'll guide you through it." So this was like 2 years ago,
yeah.
and it took a year to edit. Then last year we put it out, did a bunch of festivals.
Yeah.
Now it's here.
Amazing. Yeah, one thing I wanted to ask you about that, with that, and it's good you took their advice, because it felt like we had a good team on this, which is awesome.
Yeah.
For this film, which is like mostly one location, and you did this successfully, what I'm going to ask about, so it's not a critique, it's actually something you do really well. It's like, how do you approach making one location not boring? Because you're in one room, you could just set up a couple of standard shots and be like, these are the actors, these are where they'll be, and then go for it. But it's pretty dynamic. And like, how did you think about that and approach that?
I've made 2 other films after this, and what I learned is when you're working with just one location, start strong. Start with the image that you start with has to hold on, it has to have a grab on the audience until the end. They have to stay till the end. So start extremely strong. Like start right at the middle of the story. Don't have a premise. Don't have don't do all of the setup stuff. Just start.
Well, yeah, going from the painting to reveal. Yeah, it's a natural guy. It's like,
we don't
that's
care
strong.
how they got him there.
Yeah, true. That's super fun. Myra, working with child actors. They were amazing in the end product. I don't know what the process was like. How did you approach finding them, but also working with them in the moment?
I think it was incredible. I actually none of them are actors. I mean, the youngest one was 5 years old. He was incredible. But I think the challenge for me, so I had auditions. So there was a call out. I had video auditions, and we had sort of workshops and things for the kids. But I think for me, what was most incredible to discover is that, so my film is many things. It's sort of layered. Although it's about a bunch of kids having ice cream, and there are socioeconomic and environmental themes, also consumption, sort of existentialism as well. And I think the big challenge for me was I didn't want it to feel like these kids have just memorized dialogues and they don't really know what it is or why they should be emoting the way they should or they're being directed to. So I think the big challenge for me was to have that as a director, a voice as a director, to say what I'm trying to say, but also have it actually come from the kids. So I think, and I think true to the message of the film about, I see it as a generational rebellion. I see it as, children, the whole idea of ice cream and, just being expected to do something or just being expected to go after something. It was really wonderful to see that children are a lot wiser than we give them credit for. And working with them, we sort of had these discussions and workshops where I asked them, what do you think about this? What do you think about that? And it sort of became a collaboration. And it was amazing to see that they felt it. It came from them. And so I tweaked the script as I felt it was, from what I was getting from them. I asked them, like, what do you think of this? What do you think of that? And the funny thing is they really internalized their roles a lot. Like the youngest one was such a diva. He took his role very seriously and he just bullied all the other kids on the set. It was a wonderful learning experience, and to me it feels very holistic because it wasn't just about me framing a bunch of kids and trying to, convey meaning through the visual medium. It actually sort of holistically exuded what it is that I wanted to put forward.
Yeah, that makes me think about like how much of did I turn this off? I did. I'm loud. Okay, there we go. That makes me think about like how much of film is like you have to pre-plan so much, but then so much of it is adjusting to what you have in the moment. I mean, Arpita, you talked about like trusting your actor, and then I'm sure she did a lot of surprising things as well. Imad, your film is it's relatively precise, right? It's like stylized. It has a very specific way that you want to tell that story, reveal information. What were some surprises that happened during production that you had to roll with and integrate into that film?
Yeah, because we shot after the place closed at 5, so we had Saturday and Sunday all day and all night. There's a police station nearby, so when she was screaming at night, it was 2 in. We had a few people run by, and they're like, "Hey, is everything okay?"
Just a bunch of South Asian filmmakers,
Yeah.
and like, "Nah, don't worry about it."
It wasn't just our actors, but everyone was screaming and yelling, and it was a fun shoot. But we did have it was things like when you're on site, you'll notice things when you start lighting up. Oh, we can shoot from here. We can do that. And especially with the van, we put the brake lights on with a brick, and then the battery failed, and we couldn't get it out.
Yeah.
And then my boss called me. He's like, "Hey, why is the van still stuck there?" Because he could see it on the camera. So a lot of crazy stuff happened, but we were happy at the end of it.
Like, this is a prop now. We have the van. It's a location. Yeah.
Totally.
Amazing. Then Arpita, for you, yeah, when you, speaking kind of adjustment in a positive way, when you said you were trusting your actor, what was something she did or some element she brought to it that wasn't necessarily part of what you had exactly planned out? How'd you roll with that? Oh, here you go.
I'm trying to think of a exact something that happened on set. I mean, I think one good example is that her binge eating section. We had planned that section, me and Ishit, my DP. I mean, that was and your filmmaker DP's great moment, Dan, and we're gonna shoot this amazing thing, and we left, I think, 4 hours or 3 hours in the day to do it, and at end of the night. That was just the day where we ran out of time. So we were basically overtime, and we really needed to finish, and so we told B, who plays Preet, that she would get 2 takes.
Oh, wow. Okay.
That's all we had, and just do whatever. So actually, I didn't even, Bihu and we talked a lot, obviously before, but I did not direct it, in the sense that it was just sort of, it was whatever just do it, because we have 10 minutes, and part of it was the food, the food was we were destroying the food and it had to be cooked again anyway, so, and it's remarkable because it's a wonderful performance from Bihu. And it really reminds me of David Mamet once said that as a director sometimes just get out of the way. And so it was one where I was just I'm gonna get out of the way, I'm not gonna complicate it, and I'm just gonna let the actor do the thing. So that particular night does come to mind, yeah.
2 takes to shoot it, and then a lot of sitting in the edit.
Yeah,
the sound design is crazy in that scene.
75% of the edit was doing the beginning and the end.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's how it goes, and then we shot it in 10 minutes.
Yeah, amazing. And then Shashank, you mentioned that you've done a couple films since DOSA. What did you learn on that one that you've taken into the new ones, and that made it really painful to you? I'm sure for you watching something that's too conscious of, you're like, oh no, I'm seeing stuff that other people aren't seeing. But what are some things that you then have taken into these new ones?
Back in film school, I wasn't as confident in my characters, so I relied heavily on the story and just gimmicks. Calling out famous TV shows during the whole thing.
That's fun.
So I learned how to develop character after reading a lot of books about screenwriting, about character development, about the story arc, and all that stuff. So my latest film, The Green Room, it got selected by IFSA as well.
Oh, nice.
If any of you guys want a copy, I'm handing out DVDs.
Incredible.
It has copies of DOSA and The Green Room on it.
Amazing.
So yeah, I'm learning more about character rather than relying just on story now.
Right on. That's so cool. I don't know how we're doing for time, but I want to open it up to the audience as well. Anybody have any questions that they want to ask? Or I'll keep going. Oh, yes, in the pink there. Oh, yeah, oh, sorry, yeah, go for it. I didn't realize we had mics out there, so yeah, go for it.
My question is for you. This is a bit fuzzy. So you graded it, you edited it, you wrote it, and did you direct it as well?
Yes.
That is a heavy feat. How was that experience, and would you do that again?
I frankly wouldn't wish it upon anyone. But I think it's just because it was an entirely self-funded project. I also shot this and moved to Australia, so I was doing a lot of things remotely. And I think it was a special project in the sense that it was just so personal to me. And I think I could have worked with more people, but I think it came to a point where I realized, oh, this is actually a very personal project. And so I think this particular one, I feel like I needed that control of the edit and various aspects of it. Ideally, I wouldn't have wanted to do all of those things, but sometimes to stay true to the narrative, you have to do what you have to do. But no, I wouldn't really want to do that again. I would, unless I feel the need to. But it was definitely challenging.
I would buy that independent filmmaker shirt. I wouldn't wish to have had to have done all the things, but it was necessary. But it just fully happened. That's great. We had one more.
Yeah, my question was for you too, actually. But I would love to hear everyone's perspective. I mean, I thought the choice of using kids was really interesting because it is like a very existential crisis that they're having. And I just wanted to know, like, for you and for everyone, like, what was the decision on choosing that particular character to tell your story the best? Like, you could have done it with adults, but I thought it was cool that you chose kids.
Oh, thank you. Yes, I think that was also one of the biggest challenges. So this, about my film, it started as an inside joke in my head. So, in Pakistan we have these ads, ice cream ads, and they're all about, choti choti khushiyan, like the little joys, where ice cream is immediately, and there are a bunch of kids laughing and having a good time. I'm sure we've all seen those types of ads. It was just a funny joke in my head, like, what if these kids just said, oh no thanks, I'm good, I don't want ice cream. And so that's sort of, that was the initial spark, and so I think it very much had to be children in that regard for the novelty of, and for the metaphor of ice cream. I sort of, also stylistically, I wanted it to be kind of colorful and fun, a bunch of kids, this is a kids movie, but then I wanted it to get sort of more introspective and, to be more universal and broader. And also because of the other sort of themes that I wanted to touch upon. I think the other thing I should mention is there is some stuff in there that's quite Karachi-centric. So the beach that I shot in, it's called Seaview Beach, Clifton Beach. I don't know if anyone's familiar. But it's also the fact that Clifton Beach is a public beach. And it's, although it's situated in sort of an upper class area, it's mostly visited by lower income groups. And so I wanted to capture this complexity and complexity of growing up as a confused, hybrid, upper middle class, westernized person and this longing, as I am and as a lot of people are growing up in Pakistan and India, I think we can all relate. And this sort of desire to merge or connect authentically with the grittiness of the landscape across the socioeconomic spectrums. And so I wanted to create something very heart-centered and innocent in that regard, which is also the choice for kids. But I think it just ties in with the location as well and ice cream. So yeah, that's why I chose children.
That's cool.
Right. Did anyone else want to talk about their casting or
I can throw it. Cool. To answer your question, my main character Zimran is a morally ambiguous character. He's questioning his morality throughout the film. So the two characters, you have Mustafa, who is the one who's fighting violence with violence. He's saying the reason why we're eating these people is because they are breaking the law, they're doing something wrong, so we're taking them off the streets. Whereas Zimran is the exact opposite. He's just not happy with doing that. He's like, no, there should be some morality here. There should be some, giving people a shot, a chance that, you could turn your life around. So that's kind of where the dynamic of the two characters is. And that's what the bullets in the beginning. He's like, this is not, it's going to catch up to me at some point. Mustafa doesn't care. So yeah, Zimran felt like the more ambiguous character, which is why I decided to go with him, the story.
Right on. Do we have any other questions before we wrap up? I'm just going to let a iSAFF volunteer tell me when we're supposed to stop, because I don't know what time it is. Any other questions? Okay, if no one else does, then what I'll end off with is, and I kind of want to ask this of each of you, but I'll leave it to you if you actually want to respond. How can people support your film? Now that they've seen it, they've responded strongly to it, what can people do to support your film, your journey? Start with Shashank. Oh yeah, he's got DVDs.
Yeah, buy the DVD. I mean, that's great. That's phenomenal.
These are free.
These are free.
Buy them for free.
Well, you can't beat it. That offer. You can follow me. My handle on Instagram is PITA625, or you can actually follow my company that made the film with two wonderful companies in India. It's called Hypocrite, HYPOKRIT It's a New York-based production company. To see where it's playing, when it comes out, on some, well, I'm sure, short film will release it on some platform. But when I was making the short, the house we shot in, there was the wonderful person who owns the house asked me in Hindi, short film, kya karoge iska? And that just became the hashtag for the entire, kya karoge, that in English means, what are you gonna do with this? And I think there's no answer for short films except we make it because we love filmmaking. And I love the short format, so go watch more shorts, these wonderful selections, and there's more shorts tomorrow playing. It's a wonderful.
Which is my last name on Instagram, and yeah, stoked to make the other two.
Right on, yeah.
I don't really have a page for my film or anything, but you can, if you like, you can follow me and my film's journey on Instagram. My handle is _MyraJob, and as the others say, just thank you for being here. In a way, you're already supporting us by being here and watching our film, so you can continue to do that and watch all the other incredible films in the festival as well.
Amazing, yes, check out the program, see other shorts blogs. Thank you all so much for being here. Thank you all so much for being here.